So hello! On this channel we talk about independent spirituality and folk magic for free spirits. My name is Aster, and in today's video we are having another episode of Spooky Tales. I have quite a few stories. I haven't read any of them, so I'm gonna react to them with you while recording. By the way, if, I don't know, for some reason this is the first time you're seeing this, Spooky Tales is the series of videos in which I read stories of paranormal experiences sent by the viewers. Are you ready? By the way, I forgot to mention, but if you have a story of your own and would like to see it featured on a next episode, don't forget to send your spooky tale to the email address on the screen right now, asterperpetua@gmail.com, so the world can get to know about your own paranormal experience. So let's go. Wait a minute. Before we start, let's take a minute to hear a word from today's sponsor, which is myself. Did you know that I have opened a store? Yeah, that's right. Over there you can find all my ebooks that contain some juicy bits of occult knowledge that I share, and you don't want to miss out on that. And also private readings that combine tarot and Lenormand cards, as you already know them, with some extra spice of Afro-Brazilian knowledge. But the best part is that the products on the store start at only $3. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't know, I'm also on Patreon. And over there I share extra exclusive content like spell tutorials, behind the scenes of my life, exclusive Patreon videos, unfiltered book reviews, weekly readings, and much more for only 1 cup of coffee per month. So if you like what I do on the internet and would like to support my work somehow, check out the links in the description to take a look at everything that I offer. Now, with that being said, let's get back to the video. So this one, it has passed unnoticed until now. They sent this story in June, so it's been months. Let's go. Hey there. Hello. My name is Simon. I'm originally from Denmark, but I've lived all over the world. Hello, Simon. I've been to København. I've been there. It's a cool city, literally. I just wanted to share my spooky story with you. I already shared it in a comment, but here is a more detailed version. When I was around 7 years old, my family moved to a very old farm. It had been around for literal centuries. I didn't like the new place, and I generally felt very uncomfortable. But the worst thing about it, I started having reoccurring nightmares. Every night I dreamt that I was running in the yard on my way to enter the house, but when I turned a corner, a strange woman was standing right in front of the door. She was middle-aged, heavy, with short red hair, glasses, and she wore strange old-fashioned clothing. She started screaming in this high-pitched animalistic way. It scared the crap out of my 7-year-old self. I ran away, but she followed me, scratching at me with both arms, or both hands, rather. I never got very far before I woke up, absolutely terrified. It was the same thing every night, and I eventually told my mom. She reassured me that it was just a dream and I had nothing to be afraid of. That night, I went to sleep and I had the exact same dream, but as she was chasing me, I remembered what my mom had told me. I had nothing to be afraid of. I turned around to face the strange woman. I jumped up into the air, Matrix style, and mid-air karate kicked the woman in the chest. This is amazing. I didn't see this coming. Right before I made contact, however, time slowed down. She started screaming, no longer out of anger, but out of fear. I woke up knowing that I would never have the same dream again. and I never did. Years later, I got to know a pair of middle-aged sisters who had grown up in the same town. They were both fairly heavy, had red hair and glasses. Not only that, they were both born on the very same farm where my family was living, and their mother had died in the same house. Even stranger, I had a scar on my back, exactly where the woman tried to scratch me. It's mostly healed now, and I don't know for sure where it came from, but it looks like it came from human fingernails, so it looks like a scratch for real. And I have no other explanation where it could have come from. That's my story. Feel free to share. I hope the new show takes off. Thank you so much, Simon. It's been a while since he sent it, but this story is very good. So here's my theory. And you watching right now, feel free to share your theory about all the stories in the comments, okay? First of all, you should have talked to those women you saw in the town because they looked like the woman from your dream. Maybe they knew who that was. Maybe they were from the same family. Maybe it was a sister that they lost, or maybe it was their mother who died in the house. You should have talked to them. And I don't know, it would be kind of creepy to go to them and say, oh, I dreamt of a person who looked very similar to you. But you could strike up a conversation saying something like, oh, how long have you lived here? Because I would like to know more about the history of the town. I am not originally from here. Is there anything you could share? I live at that farm. Do you know any stories about the farm? I'm sure you would have learned something. Now, about the dream, of course, if you were having the same dream every night, the same thing, all the time like that, it was definitely spiritual. And I'm guessing that was the spirit of somebody who died in the house, and they were feeling like you were trespassing. I mean, sleeping is one of the ways in which we can do astral travel, but it's not really very controlled because it's kind of random. We are unconscious and we don't know what's going on or how to go about it. But we kind of cross over to the other side of the veil. And I'm pretty sure that's what 7-year-old you was doing. Yeah, I have a hunch that the spirit felt like you were trespassing and that made them feel angry. But the moment you decided to fight back, that was enough for them to stop bothering you. Very good story, very good story. It's just a pity that you didn't get to talk to the women who looked just like the one you saw in your dreams. Like, not like them, not like her 100%, but like they had similar features and all. Very good story. Thank you for sharing, Simon. Let's see, next one. Let's see. Hi, Aster. Hello. My name is Salem. You. I watched your most recent video about paranormal experiences and just had to share one of mine. I've definitely had my fair share of unexplainable/paranormal encounters, but I think you will enjoy this specific story. This all happened back in ancient Greece. No. No, I'm just kidding. This all happened when I was 11 years old and my brother had just turned 5. My mom picked me up after school, and while she was driving us home, she randomly asked me if I was playing tricks on my brother. Obviously, I was confused, so I asked her what she was talking about. She seemed very upset by this and said she didn't appreciate me lying to her face. She said, according to my brother, I would go over to his room in the middle of the night and call him over, luring him out of his bed and leading him into the hallway. Every time he steps out of his room, I would apparently run back into mine. Our rooms are right across from each other, and hide underneath my bed. He told her that I would then wait there, peeking out and staring at him, and quietly laugh at him every time one of our parents would wake up and find him in the hallway and put him back to bed. At first, I was annoyed and told my mom that he's obviously lying and trying to get me in trouble. Though I didn't know why, because that would be very out of character for him, but it was the only explanation at the time. Here's where it gets weirder. Love it, I'm here for it. My mom said at first she had thought the same, that my brother was just being mischievous and lying about me luring him out of bed because he wanted to stay awake longer and play or maybe get a snack without getting caught. Both her and my dad were confused at first confused because when they would find him in the hallway, my brother insisted that they look in my room to see if I was hiding under my bed. Okay, under the bed, this is kind of weird. Okay. We gotta mention this. But every time they checked, there I was, sound asleep in my own bed, not underneath. They assumed he was either making excuses so he doesn't get in trouble for staying up late, especially on a school night, or he was sleepwalking. However, my mom claims that one night she woke up hearing noises in the hallway. Already fed up because she knew it was my brother, she walked into the hallway ready to scold him for keeping up with this strange behavior. But right when she entered the hallway, she swears she saw me crouched down next to him before I ran away into my room. Both my parents decided they would confront me about it later that day when they weren't half asleep. When we got home, my mom and dad sat me down and promised they would take my phone and other electronic devices if I kept messing with my brother and his sleep schedule. I was livid and confused. I knew it wasn't me doing that, and there had to be some other explanation for it. But I knew I would sound crazy, especially when my mom said she knew for a fact that she saw me that night. However, during this conversation, my dad turned to my brother and asked why he was even following me out into the hallway. If he knew how it was gonna end every time, why allow me to keep luring him out of his room? Why not tell our parents or ignore me instead? My brother, being 5 years old and not the best at explaining things, said that it always felt like a dream in real life. Basically saying he felt as though this were just a reoccurring dream or deja vu, and he was almost in a trance that he would only snap out of once my parents came to put him back to bed. I felt like it was all bullshit and that my brother was just planning on getting me in trouble for whatever reason. For the next few nights, however, my brother and my parents slept peacefully, further proving to my parents that I was the one waking him up and that I had stopped after that conversation they had with me in fear of getting my devices taken away. One night, just when they thought it had stopped completely, my mom and dad both woke up to footsteps in the hallway. They were pissed and already out of bed and on their way to take away my phone and send my brother and I to bed. But according to my parents, as soon as they stepped into the hallway, a chill went up both of their spines. They saw my brother yet again standing outside of his door, and they saw me standing in front of him. They swear to this day that they saw me run into my room. They quickly followed me and said they saw me dive onto the floor and scramble to get under my bed to hide. The thing is though, I had woken up after hearing the commotion and a bump on my floor. It was too big to be our cat, so I got up and saw my parents staring at me. They looked horrified, looking up and down at me and the floor. They had just seen me disappear under my bed, all while I was in the process of waking up. It was insane and even crazier hearing it from their perspective. After that, we actually hadn't seen or heard anything out of the ordinary. We only heard some light knocking and footsteps on the day that we were packing our things to move houses 3 years later. And funny enough, my mom and I were just thinking back on this experience earlier this morning, right before I saw your video. It was a bit long, but I hope you enjoyed reading this nonetheless. I love all your videos and you've helped me learn so much on my journey with witchcraft. I'm so grateful for you and hope you get every positive and amazing thing you deserve. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Salem, for your story and for your words of encouragement. It really means a lot to me. And this is also a very good story. My God. This was definitely some child spirit, or at the very least, a trickster. They wanted to play, they wanted to, amuse themselves and make fun of everyone. Just a little prankster. Does that word exist? Trickster, my God. pretending to be you to wake up your brother and mess up with your parents and put your ass in the line for for all of it. Wow. So the thing with spirits, and we can see that happening in many other stories of the Spooky Tales series, when they get caught, when they get noticed, when they have a reaction from us, they disappear, they stop showing up, they vanish. So that's really a pity. It's like they want to mess up with everyone, they want to, they don't expect a response or a reaction somehow. That's really a pity because like once again, thank you so much for sharing. This was a very good story. Next story. Hi, Aster. Hello. I love your channel. I found you through the North Switch and have followed ever since. Thank you so much, my dear. Anyway, my story started years ago. My grandmother passed away like 8 years ago. We weren't super close or anything, but I did see her on holidays. Well, one night after she passed, I went to sleep and she was in my dream. This became a recurring theme. I would dream of the whole family being together in various places and I always saw her there. The odd part is that nobody else could see her. She never spoke but always made eye contact and put a finger to her lips in a shushing manner as if telling me not to say that I saw her. Well, the last time I had a dream with her in it, she spoke. In this dream, we were all at a yard sale and she came up to me and told me that I had died. Whoa. Yo, hold your horses, Granny. What you're talking about? I must have looked confused because she followed it up by saying that she knew it was true because she heard me screaming. All right, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Needless to say, I woke up a little freaked out. I've always felt that I would have a violent or tragic death for some reason, like a car crash or something. The fact that she said that makes me wonder even more if I am correct, because why else would I be screaming as I'm dying? Anyway, I haven't seen her since and I'm not sure that I want to. Yeah, of course, after that. I'm also not sure what to make of these encounters. But that's my spooky tale. So when somebody passes away, it's not uncommon that we would have dreams with that person. Like when my father died, for example, I had a dream with him that felt more like a farewell, how do we say it? A goodbye. Yeah, he hugged me and everything, and I only had that dream once. So it really felt like a goodbye. I'm going to the great beyond. In the case of your grandma, like she was there, nobody else could see her. She didn't want to be noticed. She did like this to you. And then all of a sudden she comes to say you're dead. That's not very pleasant. Here's my theory. She could be watching over you until it's your time to go. I've heard that when people pass away, some relatives come pick them up. It's not the angel of death, but some relatives that have already passed away. So I'm guessing she's waiting for you. That doesn't sound very nice or inviting or heartwarming, I know, but I think she will be waiting. And time passes differently on the spiritual realm, so it doesn't mean it's gonna be next month, okay? It can take decades, but I guess that's at least one of the people who are going to be picking you up when it's your turn to go. Let's take a look at the next story. Anyway, thank you for sharing, and I do hope that this is not going to be very painful to you, okay? Next story, let's see. Hello, Aster. Hello. My name is Roderick. Original. I want to start by saying that you are the most beautiful person in the world. Don't ever change. Aren't you sweet, Roderick? I don't know if my story is spooky, but it is true. That's what we're here for. We're listening. I recently had surgery on my left knee. By the way, I'm still recovering, but I've never had any health or body problems before, so I was scared and confused. The doctor that performed surgery on me, she is very kind and sweet. She did a great job, and I report to her for follow-up appointments. On the most recent follow-up appointment, she noticed that I was very depressed. I expressed to her that I feel very sad every day because I'm not used to be in this condition. She smiled and said, "Don't worry, you will find someone that will make you happy." And I said, "I'm not looking for a relationship right now." Excuse me. I love how this story is unfolding. I got knee surgery and then the doctor starts giving me love advice out of nowhere. I love this. So he said he was not looking for a relationship right now, and I can barely walk. I cannot date now. She laughed and said, "You will find the person that will make you happy, and trust me, you won't have to walk." You know what that means, right? I don't have to explain. I said, "How are you so sure?" And then she said, "Between me and you," she said, "between me and you, I'm a witch and I know things." Bam! All right. At that point, I got scared and said, "A witch?" She smiled and said, "You will be okay." 2 days later, I was on YouTube and a tarot card reading video popped up, and it was you and me, and it was you, the My Tarot and Oracle deck collection. I don't know about it. I don't know about those decks. I thought to myself, oh, she looks nice, so I watched the video. Then I watched another video and another video and another video, and your smile made me smile and your personality made me laugh, and I started feeling better throughout the day. The spooky part is apparently you are a witch as well as my doctor, so I told my doctor about you, and she said, "See, I told you." What? It might seem not strange to you, but to me it is spooky. But with that said, I do want you to keep being your brilliant, beautiful self, and thank you for making me happy. If you ever want to visit the United States, all expenses on me, and hopefully my knee is back to 100%. You guys, I got a proposal here. I'm sorry. That's kind of spooky, yes. Anyway, thank you. Thank you. Next story. Another thing, you guys, try to keep the stories kind of short if possible, because if the thing is huge like a novel, it's gonna be a little bit complicated for me to read on camera, okay? So let's take a look at a next story. Greetings once again, Aster. Hello, this is Daniel who sent a Fae Folk story. I remember his story. I just don't remember on which Spooky Tales episode it was, but I do remember. So welcome back, Daniel. Let's see what he's gonna tell us today. Today, I've decided to tell you a story about a week-long event that, although not much, changed my life in some ways. It all began in mid-August 2023, when I decided to do a do-it-yourself Kundalini awakening ritual, which is a process of cleaning, adjusting, and recharging the 7 main chakras we have. Okay, so reorganizing the chakras. The ritual would last a week, with me working on a single chakra each day, starting on August 25th and ending on August 31st. Sorry. The day would have a super moon in my zodiac sign, Aquarius. Cool. My mother had done this on the previous year, and she still had the instruments with her. So I borrowed her crystals and notebook, and I started the ritual. The process consisted of, after waking up, placing the crystal associated with the chakra on the area of the body where the chakra was, doing the mudra related to the chakra, dressing with clothes on the color of the chakra, and doing activities to clean and recharge the chakra. Okay, most of the days went by just fine, with me having a crystal placed on my underwear one day, or with a crystal tapped into my forehead on another. Thank God the crystals were the size of a coin and weren't too eye-catching, because I did all of this while going to work. My God. You are bold. I would never put a crystal on my forehead and go outside my house. My God. My God. Okay. And I have to say, those 7 days were extremely blessed. I experienced and discovered a lot. But the most magical one was the final, in which I had an amethyst on top of my head, being held there by a bandana. The plan was to do a final meditation with the amethyst under the super moon and go to sleep. However, on said day, while coming back from work, I passed by a cat I had never seen on my street. It was extremely weak, with balding spots, and very tired. I locked eyes with it, and I knew I was meant to take care of it. And even my mother, who never liked animals, wanted to take care of it, the poor cat. I took the cat inside and fed it, then did my meditation and went to sleep. That night, at 3 or 4 a.m., I simply woke up and heard a whisper in my ear saying, "Take care of them for me." Whoa. I jumped out of bed, still feeling a hot breath on my ear, but nobody was there. On the next day, I told my mother about this, and while having breakfast, another sick-looking cat showed up at our back door, right next to where we had arranged a little house for the one I'd found on the previous night. Long story short, after asking around the neighborhood, we found out these were the cats of an elderly lady that lived on a nearby house that had died. Wow. And since her daughter, a businesswoman who lived in another city, wasn't too fond of cats, my mom and I decided to adopt the cats. They're both females and very old. They both have recovered and are now living their best lives. We shower them with love and care every day, just like their previous owner asked me to. They sometimes do strange things, things that make us suspect they have supernatural powers, and I theorize they are my mom and my mom's familiars, brought to us due to the ritual I performed. But what do you think? Nonetheless, thank you so much for your time, work, and dedication. I'm really rooting for you, and I hope the channel grows to match the amount of effort I know you've been putting on it. Wish you all the best, D. Oh, Daniel, always good stories with you, huh? Thank you so much for your words, and this is also a very good story. Probably all this working on your chakras made a certain energy, a certain vibration, and a certain opening take place. So this elderly lady, I'm sure it was her that came to you and asked you to take care of her cats. I'm sure it was her. So taking care of your chakras allowed this communication to happen, and I am so happy that the cats were found by you and your mom, and you are able to take good care of them and give them love, and now they are elder little kitties. Thank you so much for sending another good story to the channel. And how about you? What do you think about all of those stories? Do you have a favorite, or do you have theories about them? Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below, because I love to know what you think, what are your impressions and everything. Remember, practice makes perfect. So let's get witching and don't get scared of spirits. They are more scared of us than we are of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next time. Bye bye.